life, it's fragile, and in the blink of an eye,
You never know.
you never know. So speaking of legacy, what do you hope that your legacy is going to be? It's a tough question, huh?
Yeah, I will be able to leave this earth, knowing and people knowing that I was a good person.
What happened here? What we know at this moment, as we talk to you now, is that we're told from the source Charles just mentioned that this was an accidental drowning of some sort. And so I mean, that's one of the reasons there's been commotion this morning.
Feel about the ritual. It's about does following the ritual work.
Yeah.
And so you can fool yourself into thinking there isn't one, but the evidence will be clear.
So it turns out that Malcolm Warner's death may not have been natural after all. Word is, the feds just leaked his autopsy report and folks are calling foul play. Was this really a drowning or a setup to silence a man who refused to sell out? Now, if you've got an internet connection lately, you've probably heard about the sudden and sad passing of Malcolm-Jamal Warner, the Cosby Show star. According to reports, Malcolm was out on vacation with his 8-year-old daughter at Playa Grande near Cocales in Limon, Costa Rica. That's where he supposedly drowned in a rip current. But this is where it starts getting darker. That beach wasn't some random family-friendly spot. It had clear warning signs in Spanish and English saying the currents were dangerous. And still, no lifeguards were on duty that day, supposedly due to resource shifts. Really? On a known deadly beach? Folks ain't buying it.
These are the first things we saw when we pulled up to the beach. Signs in Spanish and English warning people about potentially hazardous conditions. This sign even giving a roadmap for how to escape a rip current.
According to eyewitnesses, Malcolm entered the water with his daughter and a friend, and all three got swept up. Surfers nearby managed to save his daughter and the friend, but Malcolm, he got dragged back to shore with no pulse. They gave him CPR for over 45 minutes with no response, and he was pronounced dead right there. Cause of death, asphyxiation by submersion. That's what the autopsy says. Case closed, right? Nah, folks ain't buying that because the industry, it's got a dark pattern. Every time someone who stands 10 toes down talking about the ills happening in the industry dies in a so-called accident, and now people start connecting dots because Malcolm allegedly could have been a target. Now, Malcolm was a protective father, a man who talked constantly about raising his daughter.
The biggest gift that I can give my daughter is a sense of self. Right. So when she goes out into the world, she is not easily influenced by her surroundings.
Amen.
Right.
Folks are now asking why he would drag his little girl into such dangerous waters known for killing people. That don't sound like him. That sounds like a setup. And the internet been on fire since. Fans questioning everything. One user wrote he would never put his daughter in a dangerous situation. Another hit hard saying, so they want us to believe he took his daughter to a beach with dangerous rip currents. While this other user wrote very suspicious. Why would he be swimming in these dangerous waters with his young daughter? But it gets messier. Now all of a sudden, Hollywood is showing love, celebs crying tears, calling him a legend, acting like they've been rocking with Malcolm from day one. Streaming services are now talking about lost projects, while award shows that never acknowledged him suddenly can't keep shut about how much of a pioneer he was. But where was all this noise when he was alive? Where were the big budget roles, the award nominations, the primetime interviews? Where was the support when he was out here speaking on the industry's BS and standing on principle? Let's be real, Malcolm didn't play by their rules. And when you don't, you get labeled difficult, aggressive, unmarketable. Cat Williams been screaming about this for years, saying if you don't play the game, they'll ghost you or break you.
Because that's all you know me for, is that I'm quite likely to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God. Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin I was telling you. Feel about the ritual. It's about does following the ritual work. Yeah. And so you can fool yourself into thinking there isn't one, but the evidence will be clear. So like when I be like, oh, these guys are wearing dresses. Everybody's like, oh, he keeps talking about people wearing dresses. No, it's not.
That is a weird thing.
It's not like that. Look at it from a different way. Look at it. Show me one person that ever wore a dress in Hollywood unsuccessfully.
Word is, Malcolm rejected clown roles. He refused to put on dresses, fat suits, or play the dumb sidekick. He wasn't gonna be a puppet. He was too smart, too real, and that's exactly what Hollywood didn't want. After the Cosby Show, dude could have cashed out, could have taken the goofy roles, could have chased the limelight, but rather, he stayed quiet, focused on art that mattered, spoken word, black history, and fatherhood. He ran a podcast called Not All Hood, where he tore down stereotypes, wrote an op-ed calling out executives controlling black narratives, produced plays and documentaries on systemic racism. That's what he stood for.
Say this Kendrick and Drake beef, which, you know, they talk about how much they hate each other and give all these references to violence and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Do you think, even though we enjoy those songs and they're bops, do you think that has a detrimental impact upon the culture ultimately?
Ultimately, yes. It's been normalized for, you know, us to call ourselves the N-word, right? And we like to talk about how we've taken the power of that word back. But I'm of the school of thought. If I'm trying to speak love and upliftment to my brother, why am I going to borrow a word from people who use the word because they hate me? There should be a moratorium on both of those words in hip hop because it's low-lying fruit. It's so easy. Everybody does it to the point that it's corny. Like there are MCs who I love, who I cannot listen to anymore because I love J. Cole, but I had to stop listening to J. Cole because I got tired of hearing
as much
every two sentences because he's proven himself to be such a incredible lyricist.
And just weeks before he died, Malcolm said he was focused on legacy, not fame, legacy. That man knew what he was up against. Some fans think he might have felt the pressure closing in because he was getting louder.
Life, it's fragile, and in the blink of an eye,
You never know.
you never know. So speaking of legacy, what do you hope that your legacy is going to be? It's a tough question, huh?
Yeah, there is part of me that I will be able to leave this earth, you know, knowing and people knowing that I was a good person.
And we've seen how that plays out before. It's a pattern. Michael Jackson, Prince, Whitney, Heavy D, Nipsey, all of them real ones who spoke too loud, stood too tall, or said too much. Then all of a sudden they're gone. And it's always an accident, right? Always wrapped up quick, always followed by tribute videos, documentaries, and exclusive footage that mysteriously shows up just in time to make money off the grief. That's what's happening now. Folks seeing it, connecting the dots, saying Malcolm didn't drown by accident. He was lined up because he wasn't easy to control, because he refused to entertain on command. And what happens next? The same people who ghosted him alive are now capitalizing. Streaming services digging out old tapes. Celebrities who never shouted him out are now posting tributes. Ain't that convenient? One fan wrote, "No one gives a damn while you're breathing, but die with your dignity intact and they turn you into a brand." It's the Hollywood playbook. Wait until the rebel can't talk back, then flip the narrative, sanitize the real ones, package them up for profit. Now Malcolm's being pushed as a safe black icon. Just like Nipsey, they did the same thing. Took a rebel and polished him into a brand. Doesn't feel like love no more, but manipulation. And now the real ones are asking the hard questions. Would the truth ever come out, or is this another case that's gonna get swept under the rug like all the others? Fans are devastated. Malcolm wasn't just an actor. He was a man of principle, a real voice. He stood for something bigger than a paycheck and fighting for an industry that wasn't built to love men like him. And maybe, just maybe, they couldn't handle that. So now the question is, was Malcolm-Jamal Warner's death really just a tragic accident, or was it the final move in a long game to silence a man who wouldn't play the role? What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you're riding with unfiltered heat, don't just scroll, lock in, tap like, subscribe, and keep it rolling with the next jaw dropper loading up now.